Welcome back to Aerospace Engineering, and today what we're going to be talking about is using Weldments in SOLIDWORKS to get a 3D sketch. And we're going to use a 3D sketch later on so that we can make essentially a welded frame or a multi-body part frame that we can analyze. It's particularly useful when we start to get to complex frame systems like what you'd find in an airplane. Or in a car or any other place. But today we're going to learn how to 3D sketch as part of that. And we're going to start by making this little, I guess a U-shaped object. It's about 2,400 millimeters deep, about 4,800 millimeters tall, about 4,000 millimeters wide, and 3,600 tall on the other leg. So let's start out by doing this by starting a new part. So I'm going to go File, New, Part. Very first thing I want to do is I've set up my folder already on my drive, but I want to be sure that I am in MMGS down here. I'm going to go ahead and select that. And now we're going to start a sketch. Normally we would have used this two-dimensional sketch icon. And we still could do a three-dimensional sketch from a series of two-dimensional sketches in opposing planes. That's pretty easy to do. But we're going to learn how to do three-dimensional sketches. And if you click the little down arrow underneath Sketch, you'll find 3D Sketch. You're going to notice right away when I choose the line tool and I pop into the sketch, you'll see I got a very different display here. So you can see that I've got a little glyph that still works just the way it worked before in a two-dimensional sketch, but I've got this funky little red, crossbar orientation. And what that's showing me is that if I sketch right now, I'm sketching in the YZ plane down here on my trident. So the way I can cycle through planes is if I hit the tab bar, I'm now in the YZ, and now I'm in the XZ. And I'm going to sketch a rectangle in the XZ plane right here using a series of lines. So there's my XZ plane. So I'm just going to sketch that out. So I see ZX by my icon, and I'm going to click to drop my line onto the origin and just come stretch it on out. Right now I'm along X, and you'll see that my glyph shows that. Drop a line. As I come back, you'll see that I'm along Z right now, and you'll see my glyph shows that also. And I'm dropping back, I'm along X again. Now I don't always get the indications that I used to get perpendicularity established really easily. So you'll see I'm not perfectly perpendicular. But neat thing I can do here is I can select individual lines. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and click on a line, this line right here. And you can see that I really want that to go along the Z axis. So if I just come here and click along Z, it puts it along Z. And I can click on these other individual lines. You can see that's along X, 0. This one's along X. This one is along Z. So it looks pretty good. Now that's one way to draw a rectangle. There's a lot easier way to draw a rectangle. That's the rectangle tool. So let's grab a corner rectangle tool. Come on down here, and I'm going to shift my planes just like I did before. I'll hit my tab key, and I want to end up in the YZ plane. And notice if I click on the origin, I can pull it out, and I can pull it up, and I don't really care where it ends, and drop it. Now that's in the plane, but it can rotate back and forth. You'll see I can grab that, it'll rotate back and forth. So what I really want to do is I want to make this edge along Y. Whoops, not quite like that. This edge right here along Y. There we go. So the other thing I want to do is make these 2 points so that they are coincident. But instead of coincident in 3D, what we're going to talk about is merging them. So I select the 2 points and I hit merge. And there's my merged entity. So I'll do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to go ahead and click my corner rectangle. Start down here at the corner, pull it out and up, and drop it. I'm going to merge my 2 endpoints. And I'm going to make my vertical line go along Y. Looks pretty good. So we're really pretty close to being done here. We just got to add some dimensions, but before I add dimensions, I want to add these cross lines in here that you'll see going from the upper right to the lower left, lower right. So that's easy. I'm just going to grab the line tool again. Notice that it doesn't really matter what plane I'm in because I'm going to go from point to point. Select it. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. From point to point. And select it. Let's add some dimensions. The dimension tool looks very different in three-dimensional sketching. But I'm literally going to put my dimensions in exactly as they're shown here. 2400, 4800, 4000, 3600. Grab my dimension tool. Click on the line that I want. I could either go the line or the line length, and I'll put 2400 in here. Best practice would be to put my largest dimension in first, but it'll be pretty close. 4800, and these are all millimeters again. And you'll see my sketch being defined as I go along. 4000 and 3600. There you have it. That is your entire sketch. Now to get out of this sketch, what I have to do is come over here and click on my 3D sketch, exit there, or exit out of my 3D sketch down here. There I have a fully defined three-dimensional sketch. Save that and submit it. We're going to learn how to do weldments next for our next assignment. That's all there is to 3D sketching. Thanks for watching.